Welcome to the Daily Devo. Today we're wrapping up our series talking about there has to be a place that is willing to dig deep. She left her home with a heavy ache in her heart that couldn't bear the emptiness of her home. The pains of her choices to be the leader of her emptiness led her to carry regret, to carry shame, to carry isolation along with her pain. The home was empty. Her current man was away at work in the fields, working with his hands, doing something. Maybe it was hard to remember what number 6 was doing today. But her home was empty, and so was her heart. She couldn't sit with these thoughts, and so she went on a walk, grabbing her jar, getting space outside of town. And the sun was high, and the area was quiet. But her heart had a thirst for bigger purpose, maybe a bigger dream. But her choices left her with no other choice. Maybe she was so in her head as she went to the well to attend to a thirst that she couldn't actually quench. She didn't notice, him sitting there. Oh, great, another man at the well. I'm so sick of men, she might have thought. This one, a Jew, he had kind eyes, looked wearied from travels. Of course he asked me for a drink. Why ask me? I'm a Samaritan. We don't get along. He replied, if you knew the gift of God and who is saying to you, give me a drink, you would have asked him and he would have given you living water. Maybe there was a scoff in her heart or an eye roll as she replied, sir, you have nothing to draw water with from this well, and it's deep. Where would you get that living water? The Jewish man responded, everyone who drinks of this water will be thirsty again. There might have been a pain in her heart that felt seen. He continued, but whoever drinks of the water that I will give them will never be thirsty again. Her emptied heart caught a spark of hope. She hung on to his words, never again. He then said, the water that I will give them will become a spring of water welling up to eternal life. Life, she thought, overflowing life. Maybe teary-eyed, as though heaven parted a bit towards her. Sir, give me this water so that I will not be thirsty or have to come here to draw water. They went on talking. He spoke of her regrets. He knew her ache. He jumped over prejudices and cultural norms, and he hurtled past her sin and her shortcomings to lead her to truth. She was not too far gone. She was not her mistakes. She knew religion, she knew God, but she didn't know the hope of the Messiah has a name, and his name is Jesus. The man at the well, waiting to lead the Samaritan woman with multiple husbands, was there to lead her to new life. Jesus will stop at nothing to heal our broken souls, because the deeper God calls us, the deeper we need to go. In the deep, we experience true worship. In the shallow, we experience worship about us that makes us feel good for an hour or a few days. But in the deep well of living water, we experience worship that fully recognizes who God is, that he is holy, he is sovereign, he is almighty, he is loving, he is merciful, and he is a God who created every star in the cosmos and every cell in every body of everyone of all of human history. And he is waiting at the well for us to take a sip and realize the Messiah is here. In the deep, God changes our lives. It changes those around us too. Please read what I was paraphrasing from in John chapter 4 yourself. Read the Samaritan woman's full story. She realizes Jesus is the Messiah, and she leaves to tell her whole town. She left that well forever changed. Deep worship is not exclusive. She shared what she received. Henry Blackaby says it about this on this passage. Just as the Samaritan woman rushed off to tell others of her encounter with the Lord, so true worship will compel the worshipers to include others. As a result of the woman's encounter with Jesus, many from her village came to know him as well. Closing out this series, the church is a place where Jesus is sitting, waiting to tell sinners about forgiveness. The church is a place for us to experience living water that changes us from the inside out. The church is a place to partake in worship, not worried about how you sound or look, but worship that gives God our whole attention and affection. The church is a place to practice putting others above yourself. The church is a place to sit with someone in their regrets and point them to the man at the well. The church is the place where brokenness is healed and where we share that healing so our towns, our families, our communities, and so on can change, just like the Samaritan woman's did. So get to church this weekend and see what the man at the well has for you as you pursue deep worship. Don't settle for shallow waters. Go deep with Jesus. Invite him to every corner and crevice of your heart. Let him light it up, every dark spot. You are not too broken to meet the healer of souls. Thank you for joining us today on the Daily Devo.